So it is too cold for Prosecco at the moment. So Bunny and I tonight are warming up with a little bit of rum to go with our little bit of controversy. And tonight's controversy is... Dun, dun, dun. What if I don't want to go back to church?
Now I ask you, does anything feel better than an appropriate gasp?
Think on that for a minute. See, things are starting to go back to the way they were before the world was thrust into this state of pandemic. The domes around our own little universes are all cracking and coming apart.
It's amazing no one was hurt.
Bye, everybody.
And we are all going to get out there back into the world again. But some of us may not want to.
No! God, please, no! No!
For some of us, this new normal suits us quite well. I'm one of those people. I like it. So I find myself in somewhat of a quandary. So many people see where we are now or where we have been as if they are trapped.
Oh, help me! I'm trapped in your TV!
Come on.
As if they are stuck down a sinking pile of quicksand with no way out. And now that the barriers are coming down and the borders are opening up and the numbers of people for gatherings are being lifted, they feel they can be spat out into the world that they want to go back into. And they are joyous for it. They are celebrating. And I think church is much the same. Church is opening up again, and there are a whole heap of people thrilled at this idea. And I'm not one of them.
Another great gasp, Titans!
So what am I going to do?
I don't know.
Where does that put me as someone who is a person of faith? If I don't want to fit the construct, where do I go?
Dun, dun, dun.
See, church isn't my happy place.
No.
There are times I miss community praise and worship because music for me is a special way to connect to God and for God to connect to me. And the community of that can be incredibly powerful.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
Itty bitty living space.
By the same token, apart from the occasional really deep connection with God in those moments, connecting with God in a church environment, well, those moments have been few and far between recently. The truth is, I hate those moments in a church service where everything stops and you have to go to talk to people, say hi to strangers, have small talk with the people that you know. Small talk is not my friend. I hate it. And I have been known to just get up and walk out for 5 minutes because there are days that I just can't do it.
Dun, dun, dun.
It makes me feel more isolated and it makes me feel further out of my comfort zone. And at the end of the service, I do not want to have to shut my eyes and say the sinner's prayer every week.
This will all end in tears, I just know it.
I understand that church is about connecting with people and reaching people and helping people make that connection back to God. But why do I have to shut my eyes and say the same prayer as you? I've done that. And when I did it, doing it in secrecy wasn't necessarily the thing. It was more a case of running to the front and saying, me too, I want some of that. Where is that passion and joy gone? It seems to have been lost in the conservative convention of we need to make it safe. Why does church need to be safe? I think that might be a topic for another day. But the fact remains, I don't like it. And it's another one of those things that just makes me feel that I just don't want to be there. Having spent as many years in the church as I have, I even find services often don't feed that deep part of me that is longing for a solid connection, to learn more, to come into deeper relationship with God. Look, I don't envy preachers. I understand that they have to write their sermons to cater for people from a great number or a great variety of walks of life. It's not an easy task by any means, but the flip side of understanding that is that I go to church not expecting to be fed. In fact, I go to church not expecting any connection much at all. I very seldom feel challenged. And I think that's sad. So where does that mean that in this return to status quo, does someone like me fit in?
I don't know.
Someone like me who has found that this time has been a very helpful time, because with so many more people going online and so many more people posing questions and discussions and sermons and worship, I get to choose. I get to choose what I want to sing, what I want to listen to. I can look into those deeper topics, those things that feed my soul. I can look at questions from different perspectives. I can talk to people or engage with people who inspire me and encourage me and push me deeper, even make me think outside of the paradigms I'm familiar with. I get that there are going to be people that say, but you have to go to church, and if you want something more, then join a small group. Again, small groups, they're not really my happy place.
We really have those gasps going now, Titans!
Unless you've somehow managed to connect with me somewhere else, I struggle. I struggle to want to fit into another group. And quite simply, my life doesn't really work for it. I work 12-hour shifts. I don't work the same days every week. My days change. My roster is a little bit fluid. So committing to something like a small group is difficult at best and just a plain inconvenience most of the time. Because when I come home from a 12-hour shift, I don't want to go out. Don't really want to talk to people or engage with many people. And on my days off, not really sure I want to do it then either. See, my closest friends I will commit to meeting with. And even with them, even though I know I'm going to have an amazing time or a good time, or I'm going to get something from it, I struggle. I spend hours questioning why I committed to it, questioning why I was going to do it. I know I'm going to have a good time. When my girls and I get together, it's great. But that doesn't stop the anxious thoughts that circle in my head. Now, I get that I am like the problem child of the church. I am difficult sometimes to get to know. I don't do small talk well. And I don't have the patience often to start building up new relationships. I will try. And if there is not some pretty quick connection, I find I don't have the energy for it.
Dun, dun, dun.
If I am brutally honest, there have been days when I've left church and felt flat and frustrated and like I've wasted my entire morning, time that I could have spent better doing other things. I have even been known to go to church just because my husband's in the music team and I want to support him. Days I've gone to church, I've got up and committed to going to church because that is what you do when you're a Christian. You commit to the community, but I don't feel connected to the community. And truthfully, I can support my husband in his musical pursuits without being there. And I feel better connected to God when I'm outside of that church environment. So again, I have to wonder, where does that leave me? And where does that leave people like me?
I don't know.
Once everything returns to the old normal, some of us just don't fit. I don't know if I'm going to go back. Don't know that I want to go back. I want to be fed. My soul has a deep longing for more. And I find I can get that where I am. Maybe I won't go back. Maybe I will just sleep in on my Sunday mornings off and continue with my long prayer walks and my in-depth studies on topics that God drops into my spirit. I don't know where people are going to fit. And Lord God, I just pray that as we start to open things back up again, that the church will recognize that maybe now is a good time for change, that we can embrace new ways, that we don't need to stick to certain set rules, and we don't need to be tied down to certain constructs. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, God. And so I will keep pushing in the best I know how. And I hope if you have questions, you have someone in your life that you can reach out to who's there to answer those questions for you without any ties and without any complications.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.